Good morning, YouTube. It's Thursday morning, January 12th, 2023, straight up 7 o'clock, and I made it. I survived my 6 days in a row working at Amazon. Had yet another really great night at work tonight. It still surprises me just how much I've really been enjoying it there lately. And it hasn't just been a couple isolated days. Like, it's been pretty continuous for a while. Oh, by the way, the sign is kind of burned out. I'm at the downtown Fry's grocery store, and I'm gonna see if I can go out the right direction this time. The last time, exit Jefferson Street, all traffic. The last time I inadvertently took the ramp to exit to Washington Street, and it wasn't until I was practically at the Phoenix City Courthouse that I realized I'd gone the wrong direction. So, exit all traffic. I hope I'm going the right direction. I think I am. It feels like I am. Alright, I got a validated parking ticket here.
Thank you for your business. Please drive safely.
This is kind of trippy because I'm on the left side of the road here. Oh yeah, I don't think I've ever come out this way. I think I've always come out on Washington because stop, watch for pedestrians. Yeah, I've been the pedestrian here, and some people coming out of this really don't. It's a good thing I was paying attention because there's a guy with a pink bicycle. Wouldn't want to hit him. It's a fruity little pink bicycle. The footprint center right there, where I want to say where the Suns got their asses kicked last night, but it could have been an away team, an away game. I mean, I don't follow the Suns that much. I did hear on KTAR this morning as it was coming from the warehouse towards downtown. They lost in a really big way last night. Actually, the most recent thing I went to the Footprint Center for was Smashing Pumpkins, and I actually shot a little bit of video of that show. I shot a couple little shorts of it, and I just never got around to uploading those, but I should. They're still sitting on my phone. Anyway, going through downtown. It wasn't my plan to shop at the downtown Fry's on my way home. Usually, I wanted to get some groceries. That was a given. But usually I go to the Fry's over near my place at Arcadia Crossing, but I was a little late heading out of the warehouse. I probably didn't leave until almost 6 o'clock. Well, actually not late heading out of the warehouse. I left the warehouse right at, I don't know, maybe 5:34, just a couple minutes late coming out, but which is pretty normal for me. But I actually sat and chatted with one of my coworkers that I've never really sat and had a talk with before, and she's somebody that I've been intrigued by quite a while, and she's always like super friendly, but she's always like really quiet too, and she's got a strong accent. I had assumed she's Mexican, but somebody else told me she's Portuguese. So and I didn't ask her, so I really don't know. Yeah, I don't know. For some reason, I kind of assumed that she just couldn't stand me because one night I kind of chewed her out for moving stuff around in my loading zones on on the south side docks. I was in the last work corral, which is generally the one I gravitate to. That's the one I prefer to work in. And I've very much got a system in the way I load my trucks. And I'm very deliberate in the way I move the pallets that I don't load. I don't just leave them sitting in my work zone. I'll put them back into the loading zones that the water spiders fill up, with the expectation that the water spiders are going to put additional pallets behind them. Wherever I put them, there's zero need for them to be moved. And it says on the floor 1 arc per lane, an arc meaning a destination where the freight is headed to, which is like a three letters abbreviation for the city followed by the number. Like for instance, one that I do pretty regular is LAS 7, which is Las Vegas 7. Anyway, some of the water spiders have gotten, and she regularly works as a water spider, some of the water spiders have kind of gotten it into their head that it's supposed to be 1 arc per zone. And the zones are different sizes. Like some of them are only one lane wide. Some of them are as wide as 3 lanes wide. And it's clearly labeled on the floor, not 1 arc per zone, but 1 arc per lane. If it's a 3-lane zone, I can potentially have 3 different arcs in there. And I kind of like it that way. I'm very deliberate in the way that I leave them. And I'm memorizing exactly where I put them. And what's there, as far as like what size pallet. Which is really relevant because of the way that they're stacked. Basically, we've got 3 different types of pallets. There's a couple other exceptions, but 3 main types of pallets. Palletized totes, which come from the robotic palletizer. And those can be either in stacks of 5 or stacks of 4. Generally speaking, those get stacked together. Stack of 4 going on top of a stack of 5. And then there's cases. Those come off the manual palletizer. They're filled up by people by hand, and then the lid goes on them. Same UPP lids and bases on all of that. And those are like a in-between size, and basically 2 of those stack on each other. Now, it is possible to stack like a 4 stack of palletized totes on top of a 4 stack of palletized totes on top of a case, but generally you don't want to use those. Generally, you don't want to do it that way unless you're nearing the very end of a truck. I'm trying to get around this vehicle to the right of me, and he's absolutely matching my rate of acceleration, even though I'm in the passing lane. Come on, dude, I'm driving a little old plastic car. It's only has so much acceleration power. Anyway, now some of the people, the water spiders, and a lot of times the forklift drivers will also get off the forklifts when they're done loading everything to put stuff up. And if another forklift driver has given it to me, they're very cognizant of how things need to be stacked, and they'll generally speaking try to put them in the zones in the way they're going to be stacked. In other words, they'll put whenever they put a 5 stack of totes, they'll put a 4 stack of totes behind it, as opposed to 5 stacks, which you end up trying to figure out where to put the second one by trying to take out the freight behind it. So they'll generally follow the pattern of 5 stack followed by a 4 stack, and either followed by another 5 stack and another 4 stack, or a case followed by another case. And if a case is there, always put a case behind it. the water spiders that don't drive forklifts, generally speaking, don't make that effort. Now, there's some of them I've explained it to that do make the efforts, and then some that I've tried to explain it to that just look at me like, yeah, whatever, I don't give a fuck. And to be fair, they don't have to give a fuck. They can choose not to give a fuck. That's their option. And that's not a hard and fast rule that they have to put them in that order. That's fine. I can sort them out. All that I ask is that they follow the rule, which is printed on the floor in front of every line, which is 1 arc per lane. And if one is already there, don't fucking move it. Unless you're actually trying to make lines that matter. But like generally speaking, if I've got additional like 5 stacks of totes, I will put them where I want the rest of the line for that arc to be. I'll put that one by itself in the front when I close the gate, and then I'll put more stuff behind it, in hopes that they'll put a 4 stack behind it, or at least more cases. Anyway, there was one night. There was one, and it was the night that I had multiple water spiders that were confusing TUL2 and TUS2. I don't know. To me, an L and an S don't look anything alike, but apparently they were just not looking at it very close, and so they kept mixing those up, and it was driving me nuts. Because I was loading one and the other one I wasn't, so I get all this freight that I didn't need. It's like, yeah, I'm loading Tulsa, not Tucson. Will you quit giving me stuff for Tucson? What? You know, they don't even know what the abbreviations are for. TUL is Tulsa, TUS is Tucson. Anyway, so I had that going on. I had already snapped at this woman for that, and then I kept deliberately putting them where I wanted them. And the other thing I'm kind of specific on, and again, it's not a hard and fast rule, it's just something I like to do in the zones I'm working on. That particular zone has the loading zone, the work corral. It has three dock doors in it, and it has, I want to say 1, 2, 3, I want to say 4 loading zones, although maybe it's 5 loading zones. You'd think I would know this off the top of my head. I think it's 5. Yeah, there's one that is two lanes wide, then there's one that is 1 lane wide, and then there's one that's 3 lanes wide, and then one that is 2 lanes wide, and one that is 1 lane wide. And if that seems nonsensical, which it does, to just say, it's like, well, why not make them all 2 lanes wide, or why not make them all 3 lanes wide? The reason that they're the different sizes is because they're built around poles that support conveyors above them. There's conveyors above them. So yeah, it'd be great if they were all, 2 or 3 or maybe even 4 wide, but the width is dictated by where the poles are for the conveyors. So the only arcs that mattered to me, someone's like, oh, we were told to put them directly behind the doors. No, they don't have to be directly in the loading zone behind a given door, as long as it's a door in the same work corral. As long as it's between the big safety barriers that are between the different forklifts, it doesn't matter. But the one thing that I ask, and I don't expect everybody to remember it, but I generally speaking will deliberately put what I want in those in the back end of us, and hope that they put the 3 behind it to follow suit. So it drives me nuts. Like if I put one in and then they freaking move it and then put what I don't want there. The whole reason I put that one there was because I don't want something else there. But anyway, the lanes on either edge, the doors that are directly opposite them on either edge, I don't want that in that. And it has to do with maneuverability. There's a safety wall on each of those directly, and a safety gate directly adjacent to those loading zones and nearly directly adjacent to the doors behind them. And it's very difficult to maneuver in and out. Generally, when I'm coming out of those, when I'm going, I want to say backing up, but it's like I said, there's really no forward and back with forklift. Basically, you've got forks leading or forks trailing. But when I'm coming out, obviously forks trailing because I'm picking up freight. So forks trailing coming out. I can't go left when I'm coming. I can't go out and turn in the direction where the safety barrier is because there's a barrier there, there's a wall there. So all I can do when I come out of those, and I can't turn the other direction either and then go forward. I have to go straight out of those and then turn in the direction that is not in the direction of the safety barrier. And I have to be kind of tricky at the angle I do it at, because when I'm turning, as I'm going with force leading, after I back straight out, my back end will swing, and so I've got to kind of go out at kind of an angle and then maneuver forward, and turn in such a way that I don't smack the back end of the forklift into the safety barrier, or so it's kind of a tricky maneuver. So by the time I turn, I'm headed away from whatever door it is that's directly behind those loading zones. I'm headed away from it. So when they put freight that's in there because they think, oh look, that's the zone that's closest to that door, it kind of messes me up, because I end up having to go away from it and then double back to it, and it's a whole lot of extra maneuvering. Whereas once I turn away from it, I'm headed either towards the door in the middle or the door on the opposite side. The door on the opposite side works really, really well when they do them that way. But anyway, I've always been curious about this woman. I still don't know her name, but yeah, I snapped at her like twice. I was like, super irritable that day, and then the one time I was just. Anyway, I think it upset her. If memory serves, it upset her the second time, to the point she went and talked to Alex about it. And then Alex came in and was just like, it's like, yeah, I know, I overreacted. Can you just explain to them if it's that the one arc per lane, it's written on the beginning of every lane, just follow that rule. And if there's already a pallet there and it's for a door that's in that corral, there's no need to take it out to move it to a different one that's adjacent. It's already where it needs to be. Quit moving it, because in my head, I've already put it there and I know it's there, and I'm planning my next moves around it. And I'm sorting everything to go, like I'm 5-6 steps ahead of what I'm doing. And if somebody, it's like, for me, it's like, imagine you're playing a chess game, and when you turn your head, somebody moves your damn pieces. It messes up your strategy. Anyway, so yeah, we used to be super like just kind of smile a lot and just say wave hi. And then for a while she was kind of standoffish, but she's been getting kind of friendly and waving again. Anyway, I always see her sitting at the table, usually having a cigarette. Don't like cigarette smoke, but actually sat by her while she smoked just to be around her. And she, I always see her sitting there smoking at the tables by the front entrance, or I walked by to go to get my car. I usually wave to her and say goodnight as I walk off. And I've always kind of wondered to myself, gosh, I wonder if she's waiting for a ride, or if she's maybe got a husband or a boyfriend or a roommate or something that comes and picks her up, or if she waits for an Uber. It blows my mind how many people work there that take Ubers and Lyfts home, which just to me seems insane, because you end up spending so much money on your ride to work that I can't see spending 30-40% of what you make in a day's work for transportation to and from work. That just seems insane to me. Of course, to other people, it seemed insane that I would spend as much time as I did on the bus, getting up and leaving my apartment at 4:30 to get there at 7, like I used to do. But hey, at least that was a free ride there using my free bus pass. Well, almost free. I'd pay the extra $1.25 to ride the express bus. But $1.25 is like doesn't get you anywhere in an Uber. I think just the fee for starting an Uber is more than that. So anyway, I was curious. Maybe she rides an Uber and she's going in something that's sort of the direction I'm going. I was going to offer a ride after, sitting and chatting with her a bit. Well, anyway, come to find out that she just doesn't like to, after a long day of work, she doesn't like to fight everybody coming out of the parking lot at the same time and all the traffic of everybody leaving at the same time. She says, yeah, after working all day and being on her feet all day, it just feels really good to just sit there, have a cigarette, relax for a while until the parking lot kind of empties out and then go to her car. I'm like, yeah, I can relate to that. And I was telling her about how when I used to ride the bus, I had about between the time I'd clock out and the time I had to be on the bus, I had about 25 minutes, and I typically would spend 15 of it just sitting at that table myself, just decompressing from all the walking and stuff and standing. And anyway, we ended up chatting about, mostly just talking about, what she's done there. So she got hired a month before I did. Talking about the different areas she's worked in, different areas. I mean, mostly just talking shop. And anyway, it was just a really positive kind of conversation. I'm super curious her age. I can't really tell if she's a little older than me or a little younger than me. I find I'm terrible at gauging people's ages. So many people that I think they look like they might be 5-6 years, maybe a decade older than me, I find out are a decade younger than me. And is that just because I'm not cognizant of like how old I am now? I mean, I'm well aware I'm 52, but like I look in the mirror and I see what I look like, and I look at these people and I'm like, oh, you're how much younger than me? Okay, okay. I'm thinking, damn, I'm glad I didn't look like that when I was 43, but I mean, shit. At 43, I still had all my hair and didn't have any gray. So, yeah. Anyway, great conversation with her. That was like 20 minutes after work that felt very, very well spent. Both of us taking 3-day weekends, so it's like, yeah, see you Sunday. Anyway, coming back, that put me a little bit later into traffic, and yeah, there was just no point in getting on the I-10. And then as I started to approach, where the 17 crosses Van Buren, it became apparent that there was no point in, like, the traffic was jammed up taking 17 around the Durango curve over to the other end of the 10. Because sometimes I'll do that. I'll get on the 17, go south around the Durango curve, and then go north on I-10, which is actually I-10 West. I know it sounds counterproductive, but between the split where the I-17, by the near like 16th Street and Buckeye, where there's two intersections between the 17 and the 10, which can be very confusing for people who aren't from Phoenix. You got the stack and the split. But yeah, from where the split is to where the short stack is, the short stack being the intersection of I-10 with the 51 and Loop 202, which are both Arizona state highways, freeways. Between those two intersections, even though it's the east and west I-10, it goes directly north and south. And that's not a long stretch. That's maybe about 2 miles-ish. But yeah, sometimes it works out well when I'm coming on Van Buren to just hang a right and head south on I-17 to the split, take the little exit that goes underneath everything, and head north on the westbound I-10 up to the short stack, catch the 202 and come home. But yeah, that was crazy congested as well. And it's been a while since I've had that happen where it just when that happens, when both freeways are crazy congested, the best route usually seems to be turning right either at 27th Avenue or at the I-17 southbound frontage road and going down to Jefferson and turning left and then taking Jefferson. I've shot video on it several times. Taking Jefferson all the way into downtown. And occasionally, like from there, I might cut north or south to the south of the 17 or north to the 10, depending on if the traffic eases up. But in both directions today, it was just congested pretty much all the way across past 7th Street. Once I get to 7th Avenue, like I'm in the square mile that is the heart of downtown Phoenix, and at that point, it was like, may as well go to Fry's. May as well go to the downtown Fry's. So, got some groceries. That's a good thing. I also stopped at QT on the way home from work. There's one I've kind of gotten fond of going to. I never really noticed how convenient it is, because sometimes like I stop at the QT by my apartment, but sometimes it's kind of nice to stop at the one near work. That way I can munch on whatever food I get or drink on whatever drink I get on the way home. And bad news about QT, the sale that I was really enjoying of the breakfast taco with the Jarritos Mexican soda, either pineapple or orange, where it was for the two items together as a combo was 20 cents cheaper than just getting the taco. So I was typically getting like 2 bottles of soda and 2 breakfast tacos, and the 2 breakfast tacos would fill me up, and then most of the time I wouldn't even drink the soda. I just put it in my fridge, drink it later. I drink some tea or something not bubbly in my day. But yeah, that sale finally ended. So I'm looking at the stickers. Like at QT, a lot of times they'll put the stickers for these different combo deals they have on the drink coolers, on the doors to the drink coolers. And most of the time it's not stuff that I really want, so I don't get them. The Jarritos and the breakfast taco, boy, that hit the sweet spot for me. That's not a soda I typically buy because it's typically kind of expensive, but it's one that I like. Like, God, it was just so I've kind of really forgot how much I like it, and now it's like ooh, I got to go back paying full price for that. Yeah, it's probably not happening. Anyway, the deal they had going on today, and hopefully this one lasts for a while because I like this one. It's 2 20-ounce Coca-Colas. Now, granted, the price for 2 20-ounce Coca-Colas at bottled Cokes at QT is more than I'm typically willing to pay. It's $4, so $2 a pop, which is like kind of steep. I mean, it's not terrible. There's certainly worse prices to pay for a 20-ounce bottle of Coke, but that's, I mean, when I can get good deals on 12 packs of cans at Fry's, or an even better deal for the bigger case at neighbor's bringing his dog out. Dog is looking right at me. What, Cookies? You are super fluffy today.
We found out that he can't see very well.
Really?
And he's like nearsighted or something.
Really?
So he doesn't recognize people from far away until you get close.
You know my voice, though. It's like, yes, it is you. You got a better coat going on. You look different. No, don't get in the car.
Yeah. So I don't know if dogs wear glasses or what, but
Yeah, I don't think that's an option. They just gotta adjust.
you gotta live with it.
Yeah.
And he barks at everybody. He barks at Priscilla all the time until he gets real close,
I never really thought of that. I just thought he was an excited dog, but yeah, it makes sense.
No, he can't see.
You know that one short-haired black cat I have that sometimes tries to walk out the door and I chase him back in?
Yeah.
He's cross-eyed. If you close to him, like he's crazy cross-eyed.
Oh, dang.
So yeah, he's like got vision issues too. When he was a kitten, like about 6 months old, 5 months old, like
Yeah.
not little kitten, but
Yeah.
like that Rambunctious age, he'd try to jump on the couch and miss.
Oh, shit. That'll tell you something.
He doesn't do that anymore. Well, I mean, you can look at him and see he's
Yeah.
crazy cross-eyed. He doesn't do that anymore, but he's still, you can tell sometimes he moves around kind of slow.
Yeah. That's a sign.
Yeah. Oh, I just finished off six days in a row. 60 hour. Oh no, it's. I'm loving the big overtime paychecks.
Good deal. Yeah, nice.
I got a 40-cent raise coming next week.
Good deal.
Can't believe I've been there a whole year. Later, man. I couldn't just sit talking to myself inside the car when my neighbor came out, especially with his dog getting all excited. I should wrap this up. I'm trying to get my groceries out of here. I forget what the hell I was trying to explain. Oh yeah.